it's been quite a while since I've had such a bad week, to be totally honest. This reminds me of some of the great bad weeks that I've had, including one of the weeks when I was working at Greggs where everything I touched fell apart, and the week many years ago when I failed my cycling proficiency test twice in the same week. It feels a little bit like that. Please support and send all your juju to our forum moderator Jojo, who is fighting this next week, I believe, on the 4th of June. We all hope that he does fantastically. Best wishes to Noah Einhofer, who I in fact met on my States tour last year. He is getting married in about 10 days' time, something like that. So I hope he has a long and happy marriage. I've also heard, though not from the man himself, that Duke Rufus got first place in a gi division of the tournament he entered. Now, I'm not sure if this tournament was hosted by or part of, or just on the same day as the big sort of UFC Expo thing. But he entered that and did very well, so well done to him. Today in the church's calendar it's called Trinity Sunday. This is the end now of all the major festivals until harvest, until the kingdom. So we're now in a very long stretch that stretches sort of from now all the way until about November. If you didn't know, Laozon, my pet guinea pig, has died last Monday, the day that I did the last weekly blog. So there we are, no plans to replace him as of yet. I've also heard back from the council, Harrogate Borough Council, effectively owe me £4,000. The way this is worked out is quite simple. Based on all the income you have, all your savings and all your outgoings involving tax and stuff like that, the council can see if you are entitled to, by law, benefits. One such benefits is for housing, particularly if you live in rented accommodation like I do. Half my wage goes on my rent each month, minus £5, so quite half if you want to be like that. And they have basically worked out that on the wage that I'm on, with the savings that I've got, and with the outgoing that high, I'm actually entitled to £25 per week. That's about £100 per calendar month, because there's a few pennies and pence missing, or not, so to speak. So it's around about £100 a month. I've been living in this flat since February 2006, which effectively, if you do the calculations, brings you to around about £4,000. Of course, the council have never told me that I'm entitled for benefits. Being in work and actually being able to pay the rent, why would I assume that I would need benefits? So anyway, when things got slightly harder than usual, due to the recession, due to the rise in everything, I was able to inquire and discovered that I was eligible. And I shall now. I've given them enough proof to be getting £100 a month. But I said, you know, they haven't advertised this. Are they going to give me any back pay at all? And the lady said, well, you know, she said, probably not. She said they consider a year. Now, a year would still be quite a lot of money. And I have gone on tour to the US on the amount of money that I would get within, with a year of this. So I put in for a year, and I got rather snotty letter from the council back saying, actually, we only backdate things a possible 6 months, and just because you don't know it, well, you forfeited your right to have it, basically, is what they said. I would appeal, but I suppose there's no point, because I am going to be getting £100 a month from them from this point on. But I think it's a little sad, basically, that the people who do get this sort of money are the fraudsters, and those of us who have been living eligible for it are not told, and so we miss out. I'm just trying to think of all the things I could have done with effectively another £4,000 over a 5-year period, but we'll forget about that. And so on to the interview. I took Wednesday off work. I've been looking to try and get into another city, and that means travelling. And that means if I get called to an interview, which I did, I had to probably take the whole day off work for travelling. This was for the position of assistant at a crematorium down near London. And my parents, my father booked a day's holiday. I had to get it off work. I had to tell, basically, because there was only a week to sort all this out, I had to tell work why I was going. And so off we went. The journey itself took a very long time. It was 4 hours down there, 4 hours back. You know, it didn't quite go according to plan. I put quite a lot of work into it, to be honest. I spent a whole day shopping. I spent a whole day doing revision because you have to take a numeracy and a literacy paper as well, which went fine. The interview itself was not what I thought it would be. I think it underlines the point really that I would be working for a council, and it's council first, crematorium second, is the impression that I get. And I didn't come out feeling like it had gone particularly well. I haven't heard from them since. It's been a number of days, and they did rather give the impression that they'd get back within the week if I had got the job. So chances are quite likely that I haven't got the job. I think the other thing that didn't help was that I went in there in a little bit of a, not a panic, but having had a bit of a shock, because as I was trying to get changed, one of my parents managed to break my cufflinks. Well, one of the cufflinks. So of course there was that as well. Not a big deal. But if you're trying to focus on something, you don't need anything to go wrong. You don't need any changes in plans, because it has a tendency to throw you off. That did happen 10 minutes before I went in, so you know, that didn't help. I'm not one of these people who believes in predestination at all, but I do believe that if you have prayed about the situation and you have specifically got other people to pray about it, then you can be pretty sure that what happens is supposed to happen in that particular circumstance, because you've effectively asked for God to overrule free will, at least your free will, and to put his on top of that. And so I can only assume, really, that you know, that was not the place he wanted me to go. And whilst I'm still going to keep looking, you know, there is a certain amount of me thinking, well, there is a certain amount of me that's depressed, there is a certain amount of me that's a bit angry, and there is a lot of this sort of, well, how am I going to afford to be able to go to another interview, to be able to get another day off, because that's a whole day's loss of earnings as well, you have to remember. So, I don't know. I am a little bit disappointed. As I say, I haven't actually had a rejection letter yet, but I would assume now that I probably haven't got the job. So, you know, until the next time, be seeing you.